Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Open Road for Two. In our last video series about Overland Expo and featuring a lot of the manufacturers, we got a lot of feedback and comments about the expense of the products that we featured. In this video, we want to talk about some products that may be a little more practical in terms of cost to obtain them. This is one of those areas that maybe you might think about saving some money when you're building your rig, is when it comes to LED lighting. Auxbeam recently reached out to us and wanted to send us some products to review, and I had actually already been interested in their switch panel solution. We previously used a different product, however, it was a little limited in the inputs. It only had 4 inputs for lighting and or electronic accessories, so I was really interested in the Auxbeam solution for that, and it has up to 8 inlets that can be used. So this is the Auxbeam red, green, and blue 8-gang multifunction switch panel. At the time of this video, it's $290 on Amazon. This one can be controlled via the wired controller or via Bluetooth. There are also similar non-Bluetooth models available for about half the price. We'll provide links in the description below. As mentioned earlier, this is not intended to be a full installation video. However, I do want to highlight how easy the installation is. Auxbeam has a great video on their YouTube channel that walks you through the entire installation. Okay, so I hooked up the positive there on that. I did that instead of, because this I would have had to board this out a little bit to fit up here, so I just attached it there. I've seen other people bore it out and put it there, and then also the ground negative I just installed right here to where the automotive ground is, instead of going straight to the battery. But my understanding is either way is fine, but I chose to go that way, which is also where I have my winch ground too as well. So the smaller red wire is going to determine when the panel is switched on. You're going to have to determine where you're going to run this for power. For our installation, we chose to run the wire to the engine fuse panel and to connect it to a circuit that is powered on through the ignition. Okay, for the add a fuse, I'm going to come in through here. This is the best way that I've found to run a wire into the fuse box with keeping it without cutting a hole into the cover. Without cutting a hole into the cover or notching something out, is you can actually lift this out and open it up and get a wire through the door here. The larger plug with the black wire is for your controller that needs to get plugged in and then run through your firewall to be accessed from the inside of your cab. All right, so it might be a little hard to see where we ran the controller wire, but it's right here. I think you can see that maybe. There's a little grommet that is a hole through the firewall that you access by pulling out the grommet and then notching a hole in it to run the plug through. So that's where it goes through. And then on the inside, there's actually carpet on the back side of it that you can either cut through and poke through, or in my case, I ran it down along the firewall until there was an access area in the carpet. And then all right, let's see where we got the wire through. So you can see it right there coming through, hopefully right here through the carpeting there. So the grommet is going to be right up there where the pedal comes in, and instead of poking a hole, I just kind of made some space, pushed it down through and towards the wheel well, and then was able to get it through here. This is where I've identified that I'm going to put the controller right here, and I don't know what this technically is, but I know there's other models or switches that can go in here, but I guess this is a little change holder or whatever, cubby hole. But probably just for the time being, I'm just going to double side tape here and install it right there. But I'm going to have to pull this out and drill a little hole for the wire to come through, which I've already ran into the cabin. But to pull this out, I'm just going to use a little, I don't have any fancy dash. I'm going to try and use this guy carefully, a little pry tool. Yeah, pretty easy. Just be careful. Obviously, you're going to use a pry tool as opposed to a interior puller. So
super easy. I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's 4 screws down here. So I'm going to use a little tiny screwdriver to take them out right there, there, and there. And then I'm going to just probably use that little thing as a guide. It's probably not quite, the diameter is not quite the same as the plug, but somewhere in there I'm going to drill a hole. So I drilled a pilot hole in there, and then I'm going a little bigger to get perfect. All right, got some slack there. All right, so we're all squared away. This guy's coming through. Make sure we got plenty of slack. There we go. And we're just gonna pop him back into place. All right. And you're gonna see there's a little notch in these that it goes together. So you know you can only plug this in one way. And lastly, there's a little plug that you screw it in. I'm going to feed it back down through so that it's not so much in here. All right, so there we have it. It's all Velcroed down. In fact, the lid wants to come right off if I try and pull on it, so it seems pretty secure there. But I got it Velcroed so that I can lift it off if I need to. But so this is what I use, the extremely strong fastener, kind of like a Velcro type material to stick it down. It says it holds 10 pounds. I think that will be, 10 pounds vertically. So I think this being horizontal should be fine. Yeah. Sticks pretty easily. And then I can remove it if I need to get in the fuse box without having to unscrew anything. Okay, so we got the Auxbeam all wired up, and we got 5 different lights plugged into it. As I mentioned, it has 8 total. We got some more things we got planned. I want to do an onboard air system, so that would be 6. So previous setup only had 4. So really liking the ability to hook up 8 individual electronics. So it's plugged into the starter. So when I turn the truck on, obviously it comes straight on. And then I'm not going to put the stickers on yet because I'm still going to play around with where I've got everything hooked up. But right now, those are my halo lights. This one's going to be my top light, or actually that's my pods. This is my roof rack LED light bar. This one's going to be my bumper light bar, and then my lower fog. So what's kind of neat about it, as you can see, kind of they're all on right now, is you can just hit this and they all go off, and then they'll all come back on. And there's many different ways you can program it. It's also got the Bluetooth app that really works well with it. Once you hook it up, you can change the display here, or change the coloring there on the controller. You can control the lights themselves in the Bluetooth, but pretty trick.
So just remember, there's different options for different budgets in your overland rig. Take some time to shop around and find what works for you. Until next time, we'll see you on the open road. Bye.